As part of the Creative Things I'm Doing at Home series, today I'm finally tackling my blog and I'll show you how I transformed my vision into reality. So this is going to be a pretty detailed walkthrough of how I created it. Some of you might know that my blog has been down for a while, and that is because I was using a platform that didn't allow for much creative freedom. It was actually very time-consuming and nerve-wracking to keep up with it, so I finally decided it was time for a change and a fresh start. A few years ago, when I made my first portfolio, I used Wix because the interface is so intuitive that you can actually focus on building the website and telling your story instead of constantly having to figure out how to translate your vision. That's why I'm so thankful that Wix was kind enough to support my channel through sponsoring this video. It's surreal to think that the portfolio I made with them landed me my first job, and now years later we are partnering for this video. I usually find big projects like these pretty daunting, so the first thing that I had to do was to sketch out my ideas to try to get a better picture of what I wanted the blog to look like. I wanted to create a kind of handmade look with pictures and collages, but at the same time I wanted to keep it pretty clean and minimal. After that, I was pretty much ready to get started. So if you go to wix.com/go/MyLifeinaBullet or click the link in the description and sign up, you will land on this page where you can choose the type of website you want to create, and then you can start browsing their templates. They're organized by category, for example, if you want to create a portfolio, an online store, or a blog, but you can really choose either one because you can customize it to your own needs later on. For example, I chose a template for an online kids store because it had a similar layout to what I had in mind, so it was the perfect foundation to build my blog. To get started, I'm just going to click on Edit this site, which brings us to the Wix editor. The main menu is on the left-hand side, and by clicking on the first button, I can go to the site menu and start deleting all the pages that are related to the online store since I don't have one yet. So I'm just getting rid of all the things I know I will need, and I'm also renaming the existing pages. If you want to keep the image gallery, you can simply change the pictures right here, but since I want to change the layout, I'm just going to get rid of everything from the homepage. If you've never used Wix before, I think you can probably tell that the editor has a very intuitive interface where you can simply drag and drop things to change the layout. You can delete or add elements anywhere you want, and it also has useful tips to guide you through. I like this Instagram feed at the bottom, so I'm just going to connect it to my account. And then, as with any element, you have a bunch of options for the layout, such as how many pictures you want to show, what they should look like when you hover with the cursor, and you can also link the pictures. Going back to the top, I want to obviously change the title of the blog, and a really cool feature is that you can actually upload your own fonts, which is amazing because you can keep that cohesive look without having to import the text as pictures anytime you want to use a certain font. Next, I wanted to create a new logo to put at the top of the header, just like they had it in the template, so I started sketching on my iPad. Even though I create content other than just related to journaling, I wanted to keep the logo pretty simple, so I couldn't have too many elements if I wanted it to be legible when it was zoomed out. This was actually the first draft, and since then I've tried to polish it and change it, but I just couldn't get back this hand-drawn, not caring look, so I stuck with it. So going back to the editor, I'm clicking on this plus sign, image, and uploading the logo from my computer. And then I just adjusted the size and position of the header element so that everything fit nicely together. I wanted the menu to be a little more distinguished from the rest of the header, so I just went back to the plus sign, shape, and added 2 horizontal lines on the top and bottom of the menu. For creating the collages, I prepared this file in Photoshop with decorations and some color schemes. This way I had everything in one place for when I wanted to edit my photos. The first picture I wanted to insert on the homepage is for featuring the latest YouTube video, and like I said, I wanted the blog to have a handmade feel, so that's why I wanted to create collages instead of just adding the pictures. Once I save it, I can upload it to the gallery and insert it to the homepage. If at any point you want to see what the website will look like, you can click on the preview button and then go back to the editor when you're done. Your changes are saved automatically, so you don't have to worry about accidentally losing any work, but you can also undo or you can restore previous versions from the site history. Now I want to make sure that when you click on the image, it takes you to the video, so I'm going to go into its settings, image behavior, and just paste the link. To check if everything works, I'm going to preview and click on the image. It's a good practice to check every time after you link something, just to make sure that it works. Another great feature is that you can group different elements so that you can move and change them simultaneously, which is what I'm doing for these elements right here in case I want to move them in the future. Using the same techniques as before, I created a collage to feature the latest blog post that I'll be writing a bit later on in the video, and then I just made some final adjustments to the layout of the homepage. You have the option to create a mailing list for your subscribers and manage everything in your dashboard, but I'm going to skip it for the time being. To add my social media links, I chose these simple pre-made icons, and once again, changing the layout and the links is very quick and intuitive. Next, I created another collage for the About page, which I kept pretty simple with just the pictures and some text describing a little bit about how My Life in a Bullet started and what my plans are for this blog. You can add links to the text by selecting the words, clicking on the link button, and pasting the web address. To eliminate this blank space, I'm just going to adjust the page height by dragging up. You have the option to add your location on the map or to create forms for the contact page, and there are endless customization options, but I decided to go with something more simple and I just added my email and PO box address. I wanted to have an FAQ page so that I could direct people to it whenever something comes up, but I'm still working on compiling the list of all the most frequently asked questions because there's a lot of them. So for now, I'm just going to add a text to show that it's coming soon. So now I'm finally ready to create the blog page, and for that I'm going to click this button right here, which is automatically going to create the blog page. From there you have the option to change the way your blog posts are going to be displayed, as well as other customization options. But first I'm going to click on create a post, which will take us to the blog dashboard, and from here we can start writing the blog post. I always prefer typing out all of the text before inserting any pictures, because this way I have a clear structure and I can plan out what kind of pictures I'll need to take. This blog post is an extension to my handwriting videos, so I just took out my journal and shot some pictures that I could insert into the blog post. Another feature that I really love about the Wix editor is the Photo Studio, which allows you to edit and adjust your photos directly without the need of a third-party software. Once the blog post is ready, I'm going to adjust the search engine optimization settings, which is really easy to do within this window, and then finally I'm playing around with the design settings. I also wanted to add a link to my YouTube channel directly in the menu, so to do that you have to go to the site menu and click the add a link button down here. Once you paste the address, you can rename the page and reorder it by dragging it into place. For some finishing touches, I'm adding a simple animation to the logo, as well as choosing between the options for the page transitions. All the templates are mobile friendly to begin with, but since I made so many changes, I'm going to enter the mobile preview to check everything. You can see that it does need some improvement, so I'm going to click here, which is going to automatically optimize it and get rid of the empty spaces. None of the changes you make in the mobile preview affect the actual website, which is amazing because you can rearrange or even hide things in order to fit the mobile version. So I'm just going through all of the pages, making sure that everything is arranged to look best for mobile as well. Once everything looks good, I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to connect my domain and then go through the SEO settings, which is another daunting side of websites that Wix made very user-friendly. So if you go to MyLifeinaBullet.com, you will see the finished blog design. Of course, there's not much content on there yet, but I'm so happy I was finally able to translate my vision into reality. I love the fact that I didn't need to watch countless tutorials just to get started, and I wasn't distracted by having to figure things out, but instead I was able to focus on my vision and to actually enjoy the process. If you want to create your own professional looking website, you can go to the first link in the description. I hope you've enjoyed getting this insight into how I designed my blog, and I hope to see you there soon. Bye guys!